Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
And welcome to Sofa Reviews. Today we're looking at Robocop 2.
Released in 1990, Robocop 2 starts soon after the end of the first movie. The police are still on strike and there is a new drug in the city called Nuke being distributed by the criminal known as Kane.
So we see a crazy old lady getting mugged. A surprisingly well-off crazy old lady.
Yeah, it seems the moment the cops are on strike, everyone just turns out to be a criminal, because there's no such thing as human decency, and all there is the threat of punishment to keep people at bay.
Get off! Hold him!
Oh, you put my eye out, bitches!
Shut up, you fuckhead!
Oh, you're
Hurry!
breaking my fucking arm!
Look at this, what a nasty man!
Oh, come on. Surely you'd be a prostitute or a mugger. Why bother being both?
And now a gun store is being trashed.
Let's load it up and get the hell out of here! Where's the bullets for this gun, man? Third drawer, bottom.
Now that's customer service.
Thanks.
Finally, the cops show up only to have their car blown up.
Well, that's what you get for being a scab.
So after all that destruction, Robocop steps out without a scratch on him.
He's Robocop. He's protected by a shield of justice.
He then asks a survivor about where he got the drugs and then proceeds to destroy the evidence.
He doesn't need it, because he just finds the base and somehow manages to stealthily sneak in.
And it's not as if he's inconspicuous now, is it?
Robocop fights his way through the drug labs only to get shot by one of the main villains in this movie, a kid.
This gives him a brief flashback to his own son, which has absolutely nothing to do with the rest of the film.
He then goes to stalk his old family.
Of course, if you've watched the first film, you'll know that his old family moved away, so he's just stalking random people.
Meanwhile, we see that Detroit is about to be bought by a company, and the mayor's none too pleased.
It's bullshit! Bullshit, you senile old bastard!
This then cuts to one of the best bits in the movie, the attempts to make another Robocop.
Stop or I'll shoot. Stop.
We're introduced to Dr. Fax, who claims she can make this sequel to Robocop.
And, be ashamed to waste all the work that's been done, wouldn't it?
It certainly would, my dear. Go to it. Report to me directly.
Yes, sir.
You could learn a thing or two from that girl, Johnson.
Like how to please a man.
At the police station, we're introduced to this stereotypical dick, who's also a druggie.
Meanwhile, Robocop and Lewis are spying on the kid with one of the most subtle listening devices available.
We then see the kid, and oh, what a surprise, the druggy dickhead cop was also a traitor.
Robocop gets annoyed with this and immediately storms in to kick his ass.
Officer Duffy, have a seat.
Meanwhile, Lewis is almost killed by the kid.
No time for that though. Robocop has found out where Kane is and heads off without even checking on her.
He walks into the room and his hand is shot off, and then proceeded to be electrocuted.
Jesus! Had days like this.
Yeah, I remember that bit in the Bible when Jesus got attacked by a cyborg.
So the bad guys capture Robocop, dismantle him, and then have the good kindness to return him to the police station.
While Robocop is repaired, Kane tortures the dickhead cop. Because obviously if someone's selling out their friends to you, you can expect them to be trustworthy.
I've been loyal!
We then return to Dr. Juliet, who's decided that she can use criminals to make Robocop 2, although one guy decides to go tell the boss.
This of course leads to her making a well thought out, logical, reasoned explanation for... Nah, she just sleeps with the old man.
Ms. Fax and I have already discussed it.
Having earned her promotion, she's then given the responsibility over Robocop's repairs, as well as a suggestion list of all the various new directives.
For all the shooting he does, I've never once seen him take the time to do anything nice.
Which of course just ruins Robocop.
I'm just fine, Warren. Thank you for asking.
This is confirmed in the most stupid way when a group of young baseball players loot a store.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Having arrested a corpse, Robocop tries to give the kids a lecture, but they just run off.
They decide to check him back at the police station, but they decide there's nothing they can do.
Hearing this, Robocop realises he'd rather be dead and goes off to electrocute himself.
He survives, of course, and is now all better. which makes this 10-minute segment of the film where he's good Robocop completely pointless.
So now he gets all his cop buddies along and they go to raid Kane's drug warehouse.
I guess seeing Robocop electrocute himself is enough to convince anyone to give up their strike.
Robocop fights his way through the warehouse, making sure not to look at any of the people he's gunning down.
Kane tries to escape, but Robocop latches onto the roof of his car.
After various acts of destruction, he eventually manages to knock Robocop off the vehicle.
So then these guys, who just happen to be following, run over Robocop.
Haha, should have gone for the groin, buddy.
He then steals a bike, but wait, how would that even work? What kind of suspension would that bike have to have?
The suspension of disbelief.
So Robocop captures Kane by driving through his windshield.
This turns out to be perfect for Juliet, who uses Kane to make Robocop 2.
It turns out she's controlling him by playing on his drug addiction, because it's a good idea to put an unstable criminal into the body of a killing machine.
The kid has now taken control of the drug business, because clearly everyone else in this film is an idiot.
The kid arranges a meeting with the mayor, offering money to save the city.
Robocop 2 shows up to try and save the mayor's political integrity the only way he knows how, by killing everyone.
After his little killing spree, Kane finds his girlfriend, and it looks like he's calming down.
It'll be great, Kane.
Of course, soon he realises he doesn't have a penis anymore, and so he just snaps her neck.
By the time Robocop arrives, the mayor has made his escape through the sewer, and he finds the child dying.
Yeah, but who cares? We're heading towards the final battle.
So we get to see the company unveiling of the plans for Detroit, as well as Robocop 2.
This leads us to the final battle between good and evil. Robocop versus Robocop 2.
Lewis shows up for what's probably her third scene in the entire movie and drives a tank into Robocop 2.
And now she's giving him drugs? Talk about mixed messages.
This proves, however, to be a useful distraction, allowing Robocop to climb up onto Kane and rip out his brain.
Goodbye.
And with that, the old man flees and Robocop lives to fight another day.
And there was much rejoicing.
All in all, this is a pretty dumb movie. There are several scenes that just seem to forego physics. He manages to ride a motorcycle, and despite the weight of Robocop, the bike happens to ride on magic suspension and is perfectly fine. He also ends up in an exploding car unscathed, but one shot to the head and he's gone.
The film also suffers with having lots of bizarre random plot strands that don't actually contribute or come to anything. There's the whole 10-minute section where he's following his family, but that doesn't influence anything else in the film. There's a bit where he's taken apart only to be reassembled just as good as new, but now nice Robocop. But then he just electrocutes himself and that's dealt with, so again, totally pointless. Even Lewis, she only really seems to be there because she was in the first one. She's not otherwise particularly important throughout the entire film.
However, this isn't a bad movie. It's certainly a lot of fun. There are some genuinely good moments, and Peter Weller as Robocop is just as good as he was in the first one. In one scene where the child villain is dying, he shows a great level of sympathy and really defines his character much better than just a killing machine for justice. So I recommend watching it. It was a good movie.